On this episode of my so-called podcast, we're going back to December 10th, 1992.
That's right, Eric. We're going to discuss the album Happy Hour by King Missle, and we're going to talk about the Muppet Christmas Carol from director Brian Henson.
Like the past. The movie never changes. It can't change, but every time you see it, it seems different because you were different. You see different things.
Hey, welcome to my so-called podcast. It's another episode featuring me, your guide to the 90s, and my trusty steed over there.
Are you going to say your name?
Oh, Eric Spiegel. That's my name, Eric
Yep.
Spiegel.
And I am Gary Linton.
I could have said, you could have just said your name, and then you could have rolled it back to me cooler than
You're
that.
right. I didn't know where you were going, though. I thought you were guys like,
We got to work on our improv
you're going to
skills.
introduce yourself first, but
It's me, Eric Spiegel, and over there, my trusty steed.
I'm Gary Linton. This is my so-called podcast, the podcast where we go back to a week in the 90s and we discuss a movie and an album that were released that week.
That's right. That's what we do. Been doing it for these here 6 years-ish.
Lo these many years.
Yeah, been doing it. And it's weird. We haven't run out of stuff in the 90s.
No, yeah, we keep finding new things. This week we found Happy Hour by King Missle, or it found us. And we also we're going to discuss the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yeah. You know, if you misplace your King Missile, you should probably call the party you were at and ask him to look in the medicine cabinet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because sometimes I leave my King Missile in there.
That's right. It's funny that their name is King Missile and their most famous song is Detachable Penis.
Yeah, it's a motif.
I think so. Yep. So we'll talk about that in the first half of the podcast, and then stay tuned for the second half when we discuss the Michael Caine's King Missile and the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
It's a real phallic episode tonight.
I feel like these two things don't really go together.
What?
I don't feel like many of the people that watched the Muppet Christmas Carol even knew that detachable penis existed.
This is Happy Hour is a holiday classic in my house. We all
Is it?
we trimmed the tree to it, and
Do you have any King Missile themed ornaments?
I do. It's like a little guy, and it's a magnet. You're able to take his penis off, put it back on.
Oh, do you ever lose the penis?
Oh yeah, we've lost it, and we got the dog is.
That's Hallmark steel, though. They know you're going to lose the detachable penis in your ornament, so then you're going to pay through the nose to get the replacement.
Exactly right. Yeah, they're like
the pyramid scheme.
We can sell you the penis again, but it's like $10. I was like, the ornament alone was $5.
That's been their That's been their biggest moneymaker every holiday season since 1992.
That's right.
When whenever they first introduced it, with at the same time this album came out, which is really surprising considering they didn't know it was going to be big or anything.
Well, it was a surprise. They were pretty prescient. So
yeah, you just sort of buy stock in whatever Hallmark kind of thinks is good music.
Well,
I guess.
I think, the holiday season is all about, Jesus and, the king. He's the king. Jesus is the king, and King Missile.
Oh, I didn't see where you were going there.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Jesus is King Missile.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
what it says at the church by my house, actually, on the sign. And what they mean is, He's the king.
That's right. He's the king. He's gonna missile right into your heart and full of
Probably myrrh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Frankincense, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. All three in equal.
Right.
You know.
So this is a Christmas album because you believe that the name King Missile is about Jesus somehow.
Yes.
But do you think any of these songs are Christmas songs?
Well, and the album title is called Happy Hour. There is no happier hour than when our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, was born.
What about half price off toasted ravioli from 3 to 5?
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. That's a close second.
I mean, that's pretty sweet.
Yep.
You ever notice that happy hour's not an hour? Usually it's 2 or 3.
Yeah, right. Yes, I have noticed.
So
that.
confused about that stretched time. I guess it has to do with like you're drunk and you can't really tell time.
That's it.
Okay, thanks. Hypothesis confirmed.
Right.
So should we talk about what's going on in 1982 for us, for everyone?
I think everybody knows what we were up to.
Well, yeah, we were halfway through our sophomore year.
Yep.
The Wise Fool.
Ah, the Wise Fool. I mean,
and I was in a production of Arsenic and Old Lace at the time, December.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I was the
Peter
Irish
Lorre?
cop.
Were you the Peter Lorre character?
No, I was the Irish cop that comes over and is clueless.
One of the ants? Were you one of the ants?
I was not. Katie Simoneau and Shauna Coe.
Oh,
Those are some deep cuts.
Wow, yeah. Nice.
Wow, those names have not been spoken for a while. But I'm sure you guys are listeners, so,
That's right.
Good job in Arsenic and Old Lace.
I heard you blew the roof off the place.
They sure did. I mean, all the good lines to the ants.
Yep.
I just set him up as the cop.
Yeah.
With my very, very, very offensively strong Irish accent that I did for.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, oh, well, Matty, this lady. I'm sure I was insufferable.
Yeah. Not much has changed.
Plus, ACAB.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Okay.
I mean, not really.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about. Were
you in a play that year?
No, I didn't do any theater until my senior year. I played on the soccer team my sophomore year.
Oh yeah, the state champions without you.
Not that year. That would have been my junior year.
Oh, okay. You were weighing them down.
Yes, that's right.
But say you're driving around, sophomore year with some friends. What are your choices of songs to listen to on the radio?
Well, I mean, this was definitely played on The Point. Detachable Penis got played on 105.7 The Point.
Yeah, I know, but I was trying to set you up to tell me the top 10 singles.
Oh, but we're not ready to do that yet. We're not ready to do that yet.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Well, tell me what to do then. What should we do next?
Well, we're going to go to trivia next. We like to tell each other or ask each other questions and see if the other one can guess the answer.
Oh, okay. So, like trivia.
It's like trivia, but I think
So you're up 18-17. This could be a big, big day depending upon the ease of questions.
Yes.
Because we played at 20.
Oh, that's right.
The casual listener will not know that we played at 20. And the winner gets steaks from the other because not vegetarians. And it's better with steaks trivia. I mean, there's a lot of betting going on at Vegas on who's going to buy whose steaks next.
Right.
I'm sure, you can bet on anything, they say.
They do say that.
What are you doing?
I'm looking at the questions and deciding what I'm going to ask you.
Okay, you look very upset or puzzled.
No. Well, I guess I'm just trying to think, do I know the answer to this?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just whatever you can do to not listen to what I'm saying.
That's right. I mean, you are the host. I'm just the trusty steed.
I'm the guide, I said this
Oh,
week.
the
Not,
guide.
I'm the host.
Okay.
I'm your guide to 1992. That's why I need a trusty steed.
Okay.
I'm like Val Kilmer in Willow.
And I guess I'm Willow,
Yeah, or one of those little tiny
the
sprites.
Kevin Pollock, the brownies.
Yeah, the brownies. Yeah. I mean, do you want to be Joanne Wally?
Yeah, she was beautiful in that. So yeah, I'd be that.
Plus, she got to go sledding in that one scene.
That's right. Yep.
So beauty and sledding.
Right.
Do you want me to ask you first?
Yes, go ahead.
So remember, you have 18, I have 17. This could be a big week.
Yes. Got it.
All right. What Republican in 1992? No. So what Republican explained in 1992? If Ross Perot runs, that's good for us. If he doesn't run, it's good for us.
Was that? I'm gonna go with not George H.W. Bush, but I will go with Newt Gingrich.
The answer, surprisingly, is Dan Quayle.
Oh, okay.
Because what he said is stupid.
Oh, right. Yes, it is. Yeah, that makes sense.
So pretty much here, and so anyway, you got it wrong.
Yes. All right, Eric, what Disney movie was criticized for an opening song noting they cut off your ear if they don't like your face? It's barbaric, but hey, it's home.
Oh, that would be Aladdin, 1992.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah, I think that was just when people started to think, yeah, you could be racist against people from the Middle East or India or whatever. They were like, you know what?
Yeah, right.
Maybe the bad guys in the terrorism movie don't always just have to be generic
Arab,
people from an Arab
exactly.
country. So I think that, yeah, Aladdin maybe was just on the cusp of that. But it's still, what the whole they cut off your ear if they don't like your face kind of a thing is more an exoticizing or fictionalizing something, which is racist.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
yeah.
it's not like out and out hatred or something.
No.
But it's for
And I mean, it
children.
was
You don't
kind
wanna
of
be
the
teaching
yeah,
them.
exactly.
Okay, anyway. What movie sees Danny DeVito tell Michelle Pfeiffer, "You lousy minx, I ought to have you spayed"?
That's Batman 2? Or no, Batman Returns is what it's called.
I would have not accepted Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a movie in any way.
Well, as I was saying, then I was like, that's not what it's called. What's it called?
Yeah, they never said Batman 2 ever.
No.
It's The Dark Knight or,
The Dark Knight
because
Returns.
Batman Begins, you could have just called the next one Batman 2.
Right.
But no.
Yep.
And Batman Returns. There you go.
Yep.
Batman
Dark
v
Knight.
Superman, Dawn of Justice, Dawn
That's
of
right.
Martha.
Why'd you say that name?
Oh, man, I love it. Zack Snyder. Whatever.
Yeah, I can't wait for his cut of the Justice League for me to ignore.
Do you think he's going to put the buttholes back in?
I hope so, yes.
I heard there was a butthole cut. It is Justice League, right?
No, you're getting that confused.
Time for you to ask me a question.
Yes, correct. What singer, criticized for violating the UN South Africa boycott, was the first international star to give a concert there once the boycott was lifted?
Paul Simon?
That's correct.
Yeah, I remember there's this controversy with Paul Simon behaving a certain way in South Africa. It seemed like his politics were just different than the prevailing ones. Like it wasn't like he was pro South African government.
No,
It was more like he just felt like it was okay to showcase their artists.
Right.
Which, I mean, I could see both sides of that.
Yeah.
And he needed to steal all that music so that he could stay relevant.
That's right. That's right.
Would you like another question?
Yeah, this is my final question. I'm at 19. If I get this one right.
Okay. What do they call a quarter pounder in Paris, according to the movie Pulp Fiction?
La Royale. Yeah, La Royale. I mean, a quarter pounder with cheese? Or do you want me to just La Royale?
Well, yeah, Royale with cheese.
That's what he said, yeah. Okay. All right,
You got it. So does it even matter if you ask me another one?
Well, yeah, if you get it, then we're tied and we keep playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got here?
All right. Who keeps her Best Actress Oscar for Howard's Inn in the downstairs loo so guests can do whatever they want with it in front of the mirror?
Howard Zen Best Actress?
Yes.
That would be Emma Thompson.
That's correct.
Oh, I didn't really remember that. She won that award for that movie.
I'm not editing these cards, Eric. She may, it could be.
I
fake.
mean, I think that's right. But did you not hear of? No. She was in Dead Again before she was in Howard's End.
That's right.
Howard's End.
Dead Again.
Dead Again. They should make like
Billy
a Marvel
Crystal.
style universe, but it's all Emma Thomps's movies. So you've got, like, Nanny McPhee is
Junior?
like showing up, and Junior, right? And then that one where she has the Mindy Project on.
Oh yeah.
With her, that person is, friends with Kenneth Branagh.
Right.
We should probably figure out a way that she could kill a version of Kenneth Branagh if we're going to unite these multiverses.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
Sure. Okay, yeah, we can move on.
I'm just saying, I don't remember her winning for that, but then it was after that that she became a screenwriter too, right?
Well, yeah, she wrote Sense and Sensibility.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I think it was pretty smart. I guess you would even say that it was pretty sensible for her to write that.
Yeah,
Sense.
Well, it was also profitable because she won that Oscar too, I think.
Cha-ching!
Boom! But yeah, I don't know. She's an interesting person. I feel like Kenneth Branagh kind of messed up, but it was all Helena Bonham Carter's fault, I'm told.
Well, yeah, she's a little minx. She'll break up some relationships, won't she?
Yeah, she will.
Yep. So.
But that's why she was a good choice to play Marla. I guess she's got a little Marla in her.
Yeah, I think so. You're right. And in fact, yeah, I am now dating Helena Bonham Carter. I'm getting, my wife and I are broken up.
Right.
So.
But she's been with What's His Bucket for quite some time now, right?
She's no longer with Tim Burton anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so she's back. She can break up some more marriages.
That's right. So.
She leave him because the talent was gone? No more talent?
Yeah, I think, well, he kept making eyes at Johnny Depp. And she's like, I'm over here.
I mean, they're both very pale.
Yeah.
So I can see where.
That's right.
It is interesting that how pale Johnny Depp is for Tim Burton movies, but in the Pirates of the Caribbean, he looks like Jimmy Buffett.
Well, I mean, I think, that's makeup, and he's playing the part. He's a method actor, so
right. He must tan for his art.
Exactly. So
that's what happened. We tied, so you got to come back next fortnight and 2 weeks to find out who will be the trivial winner.
So that's correct. Yep, and we're going to move on into talking about getting a deep dive into King Missle's Happy Hour. A real deep dive.
How long are we going to talk about it?
I mean, probably for the next 2 days. But before we were going to do that, we're going to tell you what was on the charts that King Missile was like, oh yeah, the world is ready for us.
I don't really think they were thinking that,
No, I don't think so.
to be honest. But anyway, so this is the music. That one's on.
This is number 10 was What About Your Friends by Ooh
on the TLC tip. Will they let you down? Are they going to be around? Woo.
Yep, they won't. Yes, they will let me down. No, they won't be around. Asked and answered. Number 9 is Real Love by Mary J. Blige.
Is that like Real Love? How does that one go?
I don't know. I think it goes, I don't know.
It goes like this. Oh, I know this one.
Yeah.
That was a big hit.
Number 8 is Good Enough by Bobby Brown.
Good Enough?
Yep.
That's not from Ghostbusters 2.
No, it's not.
Okay, I don't
This
know
would
that
have
one.
been after Ghostbusters 2. This would have also been after.
Oh, here. Yeah, it was from the album where he had leather pants and no shirt on.
Okay. You're going to have to narrow it.
It's black and white. His back was to you.
Okay.
I don't know this one.
Nope. You'll know this next one, though. Number 7 is Rhythm is a Dancer.
Oh, yep.
Snap.
Oh, man. And back when we used to hear that all the time, I wish I had the internet back then so I could figure out what she was saying in that song.
Yeah.
It's a source companion. It's a golden onion.
I have no idea.
I know it's a dancer, but after that.
What else is it?
Right. I'm confused. Are we human? Are we dancer? I don't know.
Yeah, we're Prancer. It's a Christmas song. Number 6 is I Die Without You by PM Dawn.
Oh, PM Dawn. I love them.
Yeah. Then number 5 is How Do You Talk to an Angel?
Oh, by the Heights.
By the play that Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote, his first.
Gary.
Yes.
That's called In the Heights.
Oh, okay.
It is a musical set on the stage of filming the show The Heights.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So it's about like the actors, craft services.
Man, he always reimaginings.
So it's sort of like backstage. Everybody's wondering. They're very curious. Like, what was it like on the set of In the Heights?
What was it like in the Heights?
Right, exactly. And so, LMM, he just got inspired to show it, in a musical way.
That's right. And I think it's coming to your set-top boxes on HBO Max eventually.
Right. Yeah, but in theaters the same day.
Yes.
Also,
yeah,
obviously. Everybody's going to the theaters.
Number 4, that week was In the Still of the Night by Boys to Men.
Ooh, I've said it on the show before, but I just like to drop a little knowledge bomb. From the soundtrack to the TV movie about the Jackson 5 is what that song is from.
Number 3 was Rump Shaker by Rex and Effect.
I know these songs.
Yep, shake your rump.
All I want to do is zoom, 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 and a boom, boom.
Oh, shake your rump.
Yep, that one. Rex and Effect. These band names are cool.
Yep. They don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah, things used to be better when we were young for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. My upstairs bathroom wasn't working. I had to fix that tonight. Number 2.
Right. So things used to be. I meant band names, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything.
You're right. Everything was better. Number 2, If I Ever Fall in Love by I guess Shay. Is that right?
If I Ever Fall in Love.
Yeah, SHAI. I think that's Shay is how she pronounced that.
Yep, or Shy. Okay. I think it's a band. Shy.
Oh, okay.
A singing band.
Yeah, right.
Let's get to the middle here.
The middle sounds like the beginning.
I don't know this song.
And then number 1 is I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
I'm familiar.
Yes.
The song that seemed to be coming out of every hole that could play sounds in
Right.
1992.
I think money from that, because I'm sure Dolly Parton made quite a pretty penny from that version,
Mhm. Sure.
went to
Go ahead. Led to
coronavirus
not
vaccine.
coronavirus itself, the vaccine. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think she did both.
Moderna. I think she's
think-
Moderna, right?
No, Dolly's playing both sides of the fence.
Oh, it's like Mission Impossible 2.
Exactly. She could do the. She did the virus, and then she also has her hands in the vaccine.
Right, Bellerophon. That's the spoiler alert for Mission Impossible 2.
Crimea, right? Wasn't that also in?
Chimera and Bellerophon.
Yeah.
Yep. That's not a good movie.
Nope.
That's my short review of a 90s movie that I watched recently, not for the podcast. Not a good movie.
Nope.
But it's funny.
Did you run the? Did you run the series?
So we watched Mission Impossible 1. And then we have to watch 2 to get to 3. I was like, we could skip 2, but Adam was like, no, we'll go ahead and watch 2. But
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.
Right.
I was like, I'm sorry, guys. They're like, yeah, why did we watch that?
That's right. I guess Thandie Newton, she's okay.
She doesn't have much to do.
No.
She just looks unhealthily skinny in that.
That's
and
right.
I do know that she had an eating disorder at the time now because of the way she talks about it. So
Yes.
it is a little disturbing. She looks very fragile in the film.
Yeah, and that was the one that put John. I kind of put the nail in the John Woo's coffin of as the American director, right? Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
Or was that before Face Off?
I think it was after Face Off.
Right.
Which is funny because there's a lot of face taken off in Mission Impossible 2 as well.
That's right.
What that movie was missing was Nicolas Cage, actually.
Yeah.
If Nicolas Cage would have been the villain in Mission Impossible 2, it would have been better for sure.
Yep.
But that's true of a lot of movies.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You know, like if It's a Wonderful Life had Nicolas Cage in it instead of Jimmy Stewart, like that would be interesting.
I would watch that. Which I think that's what pretty much isn't that what the Weatherman is supposed to be like. It's a Wonderful Life.
The Family Man,
Family Man,
which is
right.
a Brett Ratner holiday rom-com from the 90s, where Téa Leoni was his wife in an alternate universe.
Wasn't he right? See, I thought there was some.
Yeah, he's like gets bonked on the head, and he sees what life would be like if he weren't like a powerful single businessman.
It's a little like It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah.
Right. I know. I'm just
saying.
It's not The Weatherman, which is a different movie entirely.
Right, Lord of War, right? That's what we're talking about.
No, Mandy.
Oh,
Mandy.
Mandy
Is very. It's like basically the same movie as It's a Wonderful Life. Is
right.
what you're saying.
That's right. That's what I thought.
So, are we avoiding talking about King Missile? Is that
I
what's
don't
happening?
know. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Eric, you're the one who sets the stage for our King Missile conversation. So
Okay, good. Great. Gary, there are a lot of artists that people maybe would consider something like a novelty act or something of the like.
Yes.
There are novelty acts that are full-on novelty, like your Weird Al's, for example.
Yes.
And then there's acts like Lou Reed, where he talks sometimes, and it's a little odd. There's something like that.
I would not be putting Lou Reed in any sort of novelty act. I am offended, sir.
Okay. How about like Frank Zappa?
I will. Okay, if you wanted to make a case,
Like it's on the same spectrum with novelty.
Man.
I've never made you so upset with a question.
No.
I don't think you've ever been more mad at me. In any case, is King Missile more like Weird Al or Lou Reed?
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't. Oh no, you okay?
I'm just breaking.
Okay. Yeah, so I definitely see where you would think King Missile, like, they're definitely, I would say King Missile is influenced by Velvet Underground and Lou Reed. I can see that. And I can see King Missile being considered a novelty act. But yeah, Lou Reed is
That's not my question.
You are wrong about that.
You're not answering the question.
So I don't think King Missile is a novelty act in that they're doing.
So they're more Lou Reed than Weird Al.
Yeah, but
but you reject the scale.
Exactly. Who's somebody? There's somebody. I mean, not to say that. Yeah, Tenacious D is also. I mean, they're talented. Weird Al's talented, and I guess is King Missile talented? That's the question.
That's a good question.
Because you think some of the novelty, like Flight of the Conchords, they're talented musicians.
That's almost like a meta. That's a different level.
Yeah,
I feel like so is Tenacious D. Sort of, it's more like a mockumentary than novelty, if that makes sense.
So you're going to be like, whoa, Flight of the Conchords and Tenacious D should not be called novelty. But let me call Lou Reed a novelty.
I was positioning him as the total opposite of the same scale as why I picked him.
I would not put Weird Al Yankovic and Lou Reed on any sort of scale.
Can we get past this to talk about King Missile?
I don't think so. So their big hit was Detachable Penis.
Right, which obviously I was aware of at the time because it's hilarious.
It is, yeah. It's and I enjoyed listening to it again and being like, oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, well, my family saw it pop up on the screen in the car.
Yeah.
Like, what? So I played it for my kids, and they thought it was funny.
Sure.
I mean, it's funny.
He loses his penis, and
right, because it's detachable, and he's kind of blasé about it.
Right. And there are other songs on so this album did not start off. I mean, intro, we'll disregard that, but then sync is like he just says the same thing over and over and over again, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to enjoy this. And then Martin Scorsese.
That made me laugh.
I mean, it's like, yeah, I was like, okay. That's a kind of, but then.
You don't think that song, Martin Scorsese, is like a novelty song?
No, I would say that one is the novelty song.
Okay.
But then we got We Are Trapped, which is, I kind of enjoyed that one.
So to me, that one starts off sounding like something I would like, but it kind of gets aimless.
Yeah. Well,
but I did like the way it sounded. It was very 1992. It made me feel all warm inside, like I was listening to the radio.
I think that's where a lot of these ended up for me too. Is as the music, listening to like just the music on it. I was like, oh yeah, this takes me back.
When lots of bands sounded like this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did you know that the lead singer was a poet, and he wanted to perform his poetry, but he thought it would be boring if he was just him talking for 30 minutes or whatever. So he hired musicians to be around to play while he recited his poetry. So that's why a lot of their songs sound like that.
Kind of like a Leonard Cohen kind of a guy, huh?
Or Lou Reed.
I mean, Lou Reed was a paid songwriter when he was coming up. So, not the same.
I'm just saying it to bother you at this point. You must know.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
Anyway, why are we trapped? I did enjoy that.
Yeah, and then, I mean, I guess I don't really remember It's Saturday or...
Well, It's Saturday is the one, it's sort of like a story song, like Detachable Penises, except for it's like about it's Saturday and we don't have anything to do, so why don't we have a revolution? So he's like sort of talking about how, there's not really a good reason to have a protest or revolution, but we are bored, so let's do it. It's kind of in the same ironic vein.
Okay. Yeah, there are 18 tracks on this album.
Which I knew you would not appreciate.
No, most of them went by pretty quick, though. Like,
they are short, yeah.
Some of them, though, like Anywhere or Take Me Home is a long one, 6 minutes, and Ed was 6 minutes. But I didn't mind it.
Those are both pretty bad too.
Yeah,
I think it's like, man, you just kind of start giving up
right
on the album. But then Anywhere is kind of jangly.
I liked Anywhere.
Yeah, it comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, this isn't bad.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like he could be anywhere, and one of the second things he says is like in a salad, which I really enjoy.
Right.
Right now, he could be anywhere. Like, for example, in a salad, which I'd never heard anybody say before. So that made me laugh. Although at the same time, like, do you think you would listen to Anywhere a lot or more than a couple times?
Well, no, maybe not more than a couple times, but
that makes it a novelty song, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I listened to Weird Al Yankovic's in 3D like so much. So you're saying you only listen?
I mean, past puberty.
Oh, okay.
Because like the repetitiveness with which you'll tolerate a Weird Al album, including the non-parody songs, decreases precipitously after puberty.
Yeah, that's true. So
he's a great guy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Very talented.
I liked Happy Hour.
Yeah.
The final song. They were almost doing some shoegaze or something. They were strumming and making some good echoey rambling stuff.
And that's even like some of the guitar on Why Are We Trapped, that is also shoegazy, I felt. And
right. I like that.
Yeah. But it
we
did
need
go
more
on.
of that in American music at the time. We were doing a lot of real low lo-fi.
Yep.
Like Nirvana. Ugh.
Yeah. Nirvana they were huge.
You remember them?
I do. So, I mean, it was definitely too long. And
we could have cut out a few of the bad songs. That would have been a good idea. It would have been nice editing. Get it down to a nice 35 or 40 minutes.
I mean, if you went out and bought this album because you're like, oh man, that Detachable Penis is a great song, I need the album that came on, you were probably disappointed.
Yeah, especially if you were expecting a bunch of Weird Al type parody songs.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, exactly.
At the time, they started playing much bigger gigs because they were more of a, before this, they were more of a college music kind of a band.
Yeah.
They were real big on those charts. And then they would start to play bigger venues.
What album is this?
This is their, I think, studio debut or label debut, major label debut. But they started to realize that a lot of people showed up for Detachable Penis that probably weren't going to like the rest of their stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So they started playing it earlier in the concert, so that people could leave and like the people that really liked their music would be able to, enjoy them.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were like, it worked out great because we would play it early in the show and people definitely would leave.
Yeah. There you go.
So they weren't in it for the fame or whatever, and I don't think they expected. I mean, like the thing is like I think Detachable Penis made it to the radio because the guitar riff in it is catchy. It gets stuck in your head.
Yes.
The little Detachable Penis. It is a straightforward, like catchy rock song, but they had the guts to make it the novelty thing.
Right. Well, here you go. And here's Apple Music suggesting similar artists for King Missile. The Dead Milkmen.
Lou Reed.
No, the Dead Milkmen. Which they are definitely, I can see that. They're like, they borderline novelty also. Take the Skinheads, not Take the Skinhead Bowling, that's Camper Van Beethoven, but they do.
Yeah.
But
is Real Big Fish on there?
No, but the Butthole Surfers.
Bare Naked Ladies?
No, Ween.
Oh, Ween.
Yeah.
Borderline novelty.
Yes. But also very talented people.
But the thing is why is novelty, I don't think it's related to talent. We just said Weird Al's very talented.
That's right. You're right.
So it's not like you couldn't hack it as a real artist, so you started novelty. I mean, maybe that's true for like Rafi.
Yeah, you think he's novelty?
Well, he's beyond novelty. He's children's music only.
Right. Well, and then
really toddler.
And then I guess that goes into They Might Be Giants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I think that some of their songs are full on novelty, some are not.
Yes.
More novelty than not, but then they just went ahead and embraced the childish nature of it.
Right.
Which those songs aren't as good.
No. Oh, yeah. Right. So.
But yeah, I mean, they got an accordion in there, and it's not like authentic to their culture or anything. It's just because it's funny.
Well, they know how to play. I mean.
But they're not trying to get girls with that music.
I don't know.
Do you think Rafi's trying to get girls with his music?
I don't want to tell you the kind of girls he's trying to get. No, I'm not.
Mom's Gary.
Oh, that's right. Moms. Yes. He is.
So, I mean, I do think that Detachable Penis is a funny song still, and it made me laugh over and over again. How he talks the guy down from $22 to $17 when he finds it. Like, that's funny stuff.
That's good stuff. Good stuff.
And it's all deadpan. It is very Stephen Wright almost delivery.
Oh, yeah, right.
Stephen Wright, Lou Reed-ish kind of a thing. Gary's rolling his eyes. Yeah. It's an audio medium.
I'm just going to shake my head at you, Eric. I'm shaking my head at you.
Yeah, I don't really know very much about Lou Reed. I'll just be honest.
Okay.
I was maybe thinking of Frank Zappa or...
Yeah, or Ween.
Not Ween.
No.
Somebody... Arlo Guthrie.
Well, yeah.
Oh man, we got to break this down. Maybe we could do a side podcast about like what is novelty.
There you go.
You know, would you guys tweet at us if you'd listen to that?
Yeah, we could get ourselves a whole podcast network.
You could be the host of that one, and then I'd be your trusty steed.
Great.
So anyway, should we rate this, I guess?
Yeah, I guess we're ready to rate it. I mean, I don't think I have anything else really to say about it.
Oh, it is exactly 1 hour long, which is why it's called Happy Hour.
Yeah,
you know that?
I did read that.
So that's kind of that's also amusing.
Yeah, which is it's
got a little novelty to it, you know.
A long time to listen to. It's a long time to listen to King Missile.
It is a long time to listen to King Missile. And I imagine they left some bad songs in just so they could make it an hour long.
Yeah.
Which is, bordering on why I don't particularly care for them in general.
Yeah.
But there's some songs on here that are funny, and there are others that are kind of good for the era. So I would say...
What are you giving it?
I would give it 2 stars.
Yeah, I was thinking I was actually 2.5. I'm gonna go and give it 2.5 stars because
it's that exact hour length. That's what you're after.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's half a star right there.
Ooh, an hour. I love it.
I like to go for a run for an hour, and I just put this on, and when it's done, it's like, well, I just lay down. I know I'm done.
You just lay down and call an ambulance.
That's right.
That's your whole workout routine.
That's right. So
been an hour. I ran an hour. Did you just run in any direction from your house? Like not making a circle at all.
No, I just go straight out.
Run an hour. So you're just like 7 miles away or whatever.
Yep.
Cool.
That's about it.
That's a pretty good workout regimen. You could do like a YouTube channel.
Well, I never really thought about that. Maybe I will.
Yeah, you just have to have somebody else with you, like with a GoPro or whatnot.
Right. Well, I guess I could probably rig something up on my helmet that I wear.
Oh, like something that dangles in front of you?
Yes. Yep.
So you're your own cameraman?
That's right.
Sweet. Yeah. Okay, we could do that. That could be a part of our network, too.
Wow, media conglomerate. Well, that was King Missile's Happy Hour. I hope everybody feels like they know that album inside and out now.
We really talked about it a lot, Gary. We've been talking about it for a while.
We're going to come back and talk about... we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk about the Muppet Christmas Carol from director Brian Henson.
Yeah, I want a word with that movie.
Yep.
Humbug. He was the greediest man alive.
It's
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Until the night he met someone extraordinary.
Hello.
The Muppet Christmas Carol.
I'll drink to Mr. Scrooge, even though he is odious and stingy and badly dressed. Humbug.
Oh, there goes Mr. Humbug. There goes Mr. Grin. Do you think it's safe for us to be up here? They gave a prize for being me. The winner would be him.
Yes, Mr. Krabs.
Hey, welcome back to my so-called podcast. I am still Gary Linton.
And I am still, even though it's after the break, Eric Spiegel.
Yes. That was the trailer for the Muppet Christmas. Is it the Muppet Christmas Carol or the Muppets Christmas Carol?
I think Muppet
Christmas Carol.
Like the Great Muppet Caper, or
right?
The Muppet movie. This is the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, in 1992 that came out, and it's an original screenplay by.
It's not based on anything?
No, it's original. But we are going to, before we get talking about the Muppet Christmas Carol, we will talk about the movies that were out at the theater the same week that the Muppet Christmas Carol was.
And I don't want to confuse people, but in 1992, you could just go to a place called a movie theater, which had several movies showing.
I'm pretty confused already, Eric. Okay, so slow it down.
You put some money down. No one had a mask on.
Oh, what?
It was very crowded. And you would go and sit near other humans that you didn't know, sometimes right next to them, like literally right next to them.
I'm a
seat next to you.
I'm
Your
a huge
arms could touch, and you don't know each other.
I'm a huge fan of science fiction, and I really like what you're telling me.
Yeah, sometimes like you'd be sitting there and like your elbows touching some person you don't know who has been breathing the same air as you for the past 2 hours,
and eating popcorn and baking popcorn and shoving it in their mouth.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, for the listening audience of 2020, I just want to make sure you guys understand this is a thing that happened. And what we're talking about is a bunch of people went to do this on one weekend in 1992.
Right,
we're going to rate the 10 movies. There were more than 10 movies you could choose from to go sit indoors and watch.
28 years ago, it was a strange time.
It was. You could go see number 10, A River Runs Through It, My So-Called Podcast.
We talked about that on the podcast.
Yep. One of my faves. Love it.
It's a good one.
Number 9, another one of my personal favorites, Passenger 57. Wesley Snipes, Die Hard in an Airplane.
Yep, always bet on black.
I have never seen that movie.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I have seen it.
I liked Reindeer Games. Is it like that?
No.
I just like trashy action movies.
Okay, yes.
But is it... I feel like all of the Die Hard on blah, blah, blah really failed except for Speed.
Yeah, well, no, I liked... that's probably the best Steven Seagal one is...
Oh, you mean Van Damme?
What's the Van Damme one?
Hockey Match?
No, I'm talking...
Die Hard at a hockey match.
Die Hard on a submarine.
Oh, that's Under Siege.
Under Siege, yeah, that's probably his best movie.
Oh, we should, yeah. Well, that's his best made movie. That was the movie that Andrew Davis made right before The Fugitive.
Oh, yeah. See, so, yeah, that's, and so.
I would like to do that for the podcast, actually, Under Siege, because that was like right at the age where I wasn't allowed to watch rated R movies, but a lot of my friends were, so they all saw Under Siege and they were like lording it over me.
Oh yeah, I remember I would have been one of your friends who was like, I've seen it and it's spectacular.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, and also it's got a pretty good movie in it.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones, also the bad guy in that movie, who would follow Andrew Davis to The Fugitive and to Oscar glory.
So yeah, that one is also, and I think.
Oh, that was number 9.
Yeah, Passenger 57 is okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you for recentering me. Number 8, Bram Stoker's Dracula, my favorite Dracula. That was the sitcom that it spun off on.
That's right.
The CW, my favorite Dracula. Number 7, Malcolm X, or Malcolm 10. I'm not sure.
Yeah, right.
I don't remember. Maybe it's like a Malcolm in the Middle sequel.
I've actually was
because Jason X is the 10th one.
Right.
So is this the 10th Malcolm movie?
No, it's not. No, it's Malcolm X. I was supposed to go see this for my sophomore history. It was an American history class. I didn't go. And
oh, what a crazy thing to do! Did your classmates all go and sit indoors right next to each other and watch a movie?
Yep, they did. I've never actually seen Malcolm X.
Malcolm X is great. Malcolm X is probably my favorite Spike movie, actually.
Okay, I can. Yep, I wouldn't argue that. I mean, it's no Son of Sam, but what are you gonna do?
I like Summer of Sam as well.
Oh yeah.
If I could put a like a movie like a smart movie engine and say what are some movies like Summer of Sam, I would watch those all night long.
Yeah.
Like I like the period detail, the murder. It's kind of trashy, lots of good actors. I could watch that like often.
Was Summer of Sam the same time after the 25th Hour? Was that Ed?
25th Hour was after. So Summer of Sam was in the 90s, late 90s, and 25th Hour was after 9/11.
25th Hour is a Spike Lee joint, though, also, right?
It is.
Yeah,
is,
okay,
yeah, that's a good movie too.
Yeah.
But it's his movies are never like how Coen Brothers movies are just perfectly precisely crafted.
Yes.
His movies are always kind of shambling. I feel like
there's
a messiness to his filmmaking style it never feels like all the puzzle pieces are interlocking. And I think your mileage may vary a little bit with Spike on that. Some people love it.
Yeah.
But Malcolm X is not like that, actually. It's a reverential biopic, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's got the good Spike stuff, but I think he cleaned up his act a little bit for it to. I mean, he got 3 hours. So.
I need to just watch. I mean, I've seen plenty of Spike Lee, but I need to just run the table.
Well, we can do it for the podcast.
No.
Okay. Anyway, if you weren't going to see that, you're probably going to see number 6, The Muppet Christmas Carol, disappointingly opening right up at number 6, $5 million. Behind The Distinguished Gentleman, which had been out for 4 weeks at this point.
Oh, wow. So, that's no good.
Which is also not a hit.
No, I think it was a hit movie.
Was it?
I think so. Eddie Murphy was happy with it.
I don't think so.
No.
No, not from what I'm seeing over here. Unless inflation really got out of control after 92.
Yep.
Aladdin was number 3, which actually would only go on to more and more and more money. That must have been, low. They were doing a kind of a slow release on the Aladdin and didn't really know what they had because that would go on to kind of knock Muppet Christmas Carol out of the water,
Yeah.
It was a huge hit. Followed by number 3, The Bodyguard, also a big hit.
Yeah.
Not a good movie.
Yeah, previous My So-Called Podcast. Not a good movie.
Number 2 was Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, starring Joe Pesci and Donald Trump.
Yep.
And number
America's
1,
Greatest Monsters.
and number 1, the beginnings of Aaron Sorkin's, and all that's come with it is A Few Good Men.
Oh, yeah.
He parachuted out of A Few Good Men into all kinds of stuff. The West Wing for forever. Oh, Sports Night.
Yep. I was Rob Reiner. There's a guy who you got these TV actors of the 70s becoming just your journeyman directors, and I'm going to put Penny Marshall in there too. It's just like you want to make it. You want a solid movie? Get a TV actor from the 70s.
Right. If you want the movie to be entirely based on quality of the screenplay, that really the director will add nothing to any of it.
Yeah, I mean,
and if it's a bad screenplay, they are screwed.
Right. Yeah, they don't have it's like, Rob Reiner's made good movies though. He's got, A Few Good Men, Misery, When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, perhaps the authors of those movies would be probably, I mean, like he was in the right place at the right time, I guess.
Right. Yeah, but it's like
Misery is very well regarded.
Right.
When Harry Met Sally is like the ultimate romantic comedy of all time.
So it's like he's not doing anything spectacular, but he doesn't mess it up either. That's the thing.
Don't you think it's weird? Like in the 80s, late 80s, you could have a movie where Billy Crystal is the romantic interest of a movie.
Yeah, that's weird.
And like nobody bats an eye.
Nope.
But like nowadays, like the actors are so incredibly handsome in everything. Like nobody like Billy Crystal is going to be the romantic lead of anything. It'd have to be a Hemsworth or whatnot.
Yeah, and even even your Ryan Reynolds has had to. They've had to just sculpt themselves because
you can't be a dumpy dude in movies anymore. And I'm not saying it's sexist. I'm just saying it's like hyper attractiveness is just the general rule now.
I love it.
That's what I was saying. I want everybody to have the exact same abs.
That's right.
Everywhere on TV.
That's right. Okay. We're going to start talking about Muppet Christmas Carol. I'm going to actually steal a Letterboxd review of Muppet Christmas Carol by a podcast that you and I are both fans of. Dan McCoy of the Flophouse wrote recently on the Muppet Christmas Carol that it's a better Christmas Carol movie than a Muppet movie. So either
that is a succinct review.
Yep. So either it's a better Christmas Carol or it's a better Muppet movie.
Well, that's a really loaded question, and I think it bears a little bit of explanation. I guess the idea that Jim died in 1990. I think.
Yeah.
And that this was kind of the first big thing that Brian kind of helmed, starring all these Frank Oz, Jim Henson characters.
Still adapted by Jerry Jewell, who is the he wrote or co-wrote the previous 3 movies. So.
Yeah, but I do think that a lot of people looked at it like, is this passing of the torch thing gonna happen or not?
Right,
is it gonna be real? And I do think that partially I understand exactly what Dan McCoy is saying, but I think it only stems from the fact that they made the choice to have the different characters play the characters in the Dickens, story. So they're like, Fozzie Bear as Fozziewig. So
Fozzie,
he's not Fozzie because he's in character as his other character.
Right.
So I understand what they mean. Like it's more towards the service of telling the Christmas Carol tale than like being a rowdy Muppet movie.
Right. It's kind of a safe bet too. You're like, oh, I mean, the Muppets had done 3 original movies. Before so you're doing an adaptation, and then they did an adaptation after this too. They did Muppet Treasure Island.
Now I think that movie is terrible.
I didn't care for that one, but I will tell you that the previous 3 have a special place in my childhood. I loved all 3 of them. So
well, I was a really big Great Muppet Caper fan.
Also, I think that was probably that one's the funniest one.
Right, and you get some really funny Charles Grodin early in your life. I think it's good for your brain.
Yes, I like that one too. I think
all kids should also watch Ishtar, like prepubescent. Like
yes,
I think it's just good. I think it's just good for you.
I had a lot of Great Muppet Caper and Seems Like Old Times. If you, that was in my.
Yeah, I was more of a Heartbreak Kid kind of a guy.
Okay,
I watched that, anything with a good literary pedigree or famous screenwriter. Like that's what I was really into when I was like 6.
Right. So,
but Great Muppet Caper I loved. I always kind of thought of the Muppet movie as being sort of like a little bit like something that happened before I was aware.
Yeah.
Almost like I kind of remember going to it, but I was so young I don't really remember it. And then it's like later on you're like, oh yeah, Orson Welles is in that. Or like,
yeah, that's right.
I kind of remember there's that big, really tall one. And I think I remember I was kind of scared of him.
Oh, yeah. Sweetie Pie.
Yeah. But my kids were watching it recently, and it's really funny.
It's pretty good. It has so many people in it. They get all the comedians. I always like Steve Martin's part, too.
It's straight up more meta than Deadpool, speaking of Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
they
right.
Talk to the camera. They read the script to figure out what to do next.
Yes, that's right.
The Electric Mayhem is awesome.
In that church. Great songs. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess I've always just sort of accepted that this wasn't that kind of a Muppet movie. And I guess partially I've just made my peace with the fact that there really is nothing like the Muppets in that zone of the 80s where it was all pretty perfect.
Well,
but
right.
I don't like say that the Jason Segel Muppet movie isn't a real Muppet movie, but I do sort of just judge it by like a different curriculum, or what is it called? Rubric.
Right.
Like
and
I have different goals.
But they try to do that with this, I guess the main difference. Christmas Carol, you all know the story. He's Scrooge visited by
I don't think we
ghosts.
have to tell the story of this. I mean, you either are too, if you don't know the Christmas Carol story, you're probably too young to be listening to this podcast. What are your parents doing, and how do you know how to download podcasts?
Exactly.
That's weird.
But the main, I think one of the, I think a good thing that adds to it, I guess is having Gonzo be Charles Dickens.
Yeah. Yes.
And
that's a very, how do we make this more Muppety move?
Yes. But unfortunately, though, while I loved the rats in Muppets Take Manhattan, I don't know if Rizzo really does add that much. I mean, I guess you need a foil for
or
Gonzo
a Greek chorus. Or...
Yeah, but I felt Rizzo wasn't that didn't add that much in.
I like when they interact with one another just fine. There's that one part where he keeps like sort of the joke is that Gonzo keeps sort of helping Rizzo, but he's doing it in a way that's sort of like irritating. Or
right.
Like,
well, but yeah, I mean, he lights his tail on fire, and then and he
pushes him in the ice bucket.
Yeah.
And then he like whacks him to get him open.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's that little dynamic. But it's also kind of cute the way he's explaining things. I do like how they have him say some of the actual kind of
lines.
Poetic lines of it.
Agreed.
That was a good choice because, I mean, obviously Dickens was a good author over and above a good storyteller. So I don't know. I think that personally, I would agree wholeheartily that it's a good Christmas Carol movie. I do like it on those terms.
I mean, you got the songs as the other differentiator.
The songs in this, I think, are good.
Yep.
They are Christmas carols. A lot of them can fit as Christmas carols. And as such, I think it's hard to write new Christmas carols.
Yeah.
But I think they do fairly well. These are songs I've heard a lot of times. I got this on VHS, the next year. Because I was Bob Cratchit in Christmas Carol on stage. And so,
and you were like, how did Kermit do it? I had to look how Kermit did it. So,
right. I had to that was actually my whole thing would be like, I would try to figure out how Kermit would portray like whomever. Like, what would it be like if, in Flowers for Algernon, Charlie was played by Kermit? Like, how would he do that? You know,
right. And it's like,
what if Kermit went back to the mystical land of Brigadoon?
Right.
How do I channel that energy?
Kermit would have a ridiculous Irish accent if he was playing an Irish cop in Arsenic and Old Lace.
Yeah, no, actually, now that you mention it, he probably wouldn't. He would just sound like Kermit. So that's where, see, I didn't do it and it really let me down.
Right. Oh, okay.
Because Kermit doesn't do accents.
No,
maybe Fozzie would, but
that's what he does. He kind of does his yeah.
Yeah, so that's so weird. I feel like this is sort of explaining something to me that I never really understood. I just don't think of this as a true Muppet movie. I think of it as something in a different category, I guess.
Yes.
And as such, I like it.
Right.
But if somebody said to me, like, I've never heard of the Muppets. What are the Muppets?
Yeah,
First of all, I would be like, what?
Yeah.
Who are you and where did you come from? No, but if somebody said that to me, obviously the first thing I would show them would not be this.
No.
Because like this is like does not get at the goodness of the Muppets
what
at all,
the Muppet
really.
is. Right. Yeah, I mean, you'd show them the Muppet movie.
Right. Or Caper probably would
Yeah.
work. Or even that Jason Segel movie.
Yeah, that's actually got the highest rating amongst all of the Muppet movies.
Well, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Right.
But it has that. It's at least trying to emulate that style of comedy,
Yes.
which is what made it like respectable.
Well,
in
I think
my eyes.
you're right, and I think it is made by people who truly love the Muppets, and we're trying to do a Muppet movie like that. Where I think that's where Brian Henson maybe was like, let's not do a Muppet movie. I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, originally this was going to be made for TV, and I feel like that, like the pitch was a TV movie, and then once they read the screenplay and they imagined all of the different Muppets that we knew in different roles, they were like, oh, this would be big blockbuster movie. In fact, they positioned it in more screens on opening weekend than they did Aladdin.
Right.
I mentioned in the box office. I think the success of Aladdin actually caught them by surprise.
Are you saying
like
like
it was going to be?
Disney didn't own the Muppets at this time, did they?
This movie was produced by Disney.
Okay.
Unlike the previous Muppet movies we've been discussing.
Right.
So much so that Katzenberg took out a song that Brian Henson really liked that was in it. Like it's like what do you do without love? Something that he sings with Belle, I guess her name is. Is that right? Scrooge's Love.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But anyway, it's like they've lost love. And then there's even an answer song in the movie at the end, "The Love We Found."
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a call and response song. So Brian Henson's always like, if he gives an interview about this movie, he always bitches about the fact that Katzenberg took out that song.
Oh, yeah.
And it's on like some releases of this movie on DVD, and it's not on others. So it's like a lost song.
It's not on it wasn't on the Disney Plus version.
I think it's in the Disney Plus extra features. Actually.
Oh, okay. I didn't check.
Yeah, it's in there, and it's on all the soundtracks too. So like,
okay.
Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that.
Sorry. We were saying how you were talking about how they were going to make this the big hit, and Aladdin caught them off guard. How popular.
I think it did. Yeah.
Yeah. I still think...
And it wasn't a big hit, and I think probably because maybe, first of all, you have like lots of options if you want to watch this story.
Yeah, I think the Christmas Carol has been done to death. I mean, it's a great story. It
is a good story.
It's great, and I mean. I think that Jim Carrey one that Robert Zemeckis did not too many years ago, wasn't that also a bomb?
Yeah, well, it was a bomb,
yeah,
and that was like those Zemeckis movies that cost like $200 million and they look like crap.
Right. I mean, because I don't think people aren't.
I mean, the stop motion ones or whatever you want to call it.
The motion capture. Yeah, you're just not going to pay for a Christmas Carol anymore. I mean, because you can see it for free.
Right. Why buy the cow?
Right. exactly. It's in the public domain. I mean, I remember a Facts of Life, not a Facts of Life, probably a Facts of Life, but it was Family Ties. Yes.
So, whenever I say A Christmas Carol or Scrooge, if you will,
yeah,
what is your childhood version that you grew up with?
It is the movie Scrooge with Albert Finney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not Scrooged with Bill Murray.
No. So the musical with Albert Finney is called
Scrooge, the stingiest man in town?
It's not called that. It's just called Scrooge.
Yeah, but that's what the musical it's based on, I think, because that's the one we did my
probably
high school.
Yeah.
Mine is the you didn't ask, but I'll tell you.
Yes.
That mine is the George C. Scott made-for-television Scrooge that was on in like 1984 that I recorded when it was on.
Oh yeah,
and then watched every year because it's like I gotta watch Christmas something.
Well, right, yeah, exactly. And I gotta say though, and to give this one credit for being a Christmas Carol, it's like the Ghost of Christmas Past. Like in the movie, I think it is supposed to be more of a, or not in the movie, but in the book, isn't it kind of the Ghost of Christmas Past, kind of a glowing ball of?
I'm not sure. I actually have never read it.
I think so. Where it's like you can't do that when it's a live action movie, and
right. And I think that I honestly think that the all four ghosts to a certain extent are kind of scary.
Marley and Marley, Bob Marley.
But Robert and Jacob Marley.
Yeah.
That's a Muppety thing.
Yes.
Before they come, it's actually fairly scary, Sam Raimi-ish, like directed, like the wind is blowing the candles out and the like camera's going across the floor and the chains come up first, like Hellraiser.
Yeah, right.
Statler and Waldorf. but it is kind of scary to begin with, is what at least my kids thought so.
Well,
and then the past is kind of spooky, the way she doesn't like answer questions or she'll sort of ignore him and stuff.
Yeah.
And like she has no inflection in her voice whenever he's like upset. She's like, "This is just stuff that happened, bro."
Yeah, exactly. And and we haven't even talked about Michael Caine. He does a good job. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's Michael Caine.
It's Michael Caine. Yeah.
It's a pre-Nolan Michael Caine.
Right.
Before Christopher Nolan.
Post Alfie.
Post. Yeah. No, this. Post Alfie, pre-death Michael Caine.
That's the window. You're right.
Right in that period, right after he made Alfie till his death.
It's right in there.
Mortal coil.
That's right.
So Michael Caine, he's always kind of been like semi-famous to me. Like he just always was pretty famous, but never incredibly famous.
So you didn't have like the poster of Sleuth on your wall?
I didn't. Although we did watch a movie called Educating Rita when I was quite young that he was in, and that's a pretty old movie.
Yeah.
We really, really liked Dirty Rotten Scoundrels in my house.
Oh, yes. Yes, I know that.
That's one that we watched over and over. And, I like him when he's really serious, too.
As in this one.
He's taking it pretty seriously.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't really, ever joke around.
No.
Which isn't, a choice. I think that's interesting. And I guess that goes along with it's better Christmas Carol movie than a Muppet movie. There's the only person that breaks the fourth wall is the narrator. Right,
Gonzo.
Which is not, really breaking the fourth wall.
No, you're the narrator.
So, like I said, the if you compare the Muppet movie to something like Scream, I think the Muppet movie is more self-referential and more meta than.
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. They
Whereas-
talk about the screenplay and yeah. So
Right. They talk about like being in a movie and like it's like they're watching the movie of the movie. Like
That's
the
right,
beginning
that's
of this,
right.
they're in a movie theater watching their own movie that they made. So the movie they made doesn't exist in the Muppet Show universe.
right. Yeah,
It's not reality.
Don't
it's a movie
don't
they
think
made.
about it too much. You'll break your. But it, like yeah, and it has
It's
everybody.
like Donnie Darko over here.
Exactly. So yeah, Richard Pryor, Milton Berle, Steve Martin.
Right. So anyway, yeah, if you're like, what is Brian Henson gonna be the same as his father, and you're investing as this is the fourth movie following the Muppets Take Manhattan, you're gonna be like angry.
Yeah, well, and I think because I think Muppets Take Manhattan was a pretty big hit.
Yep.
I mean, at least in my childhood, it was a huge hit.
I really liked the girl that worked at the Greek diner.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I liked her for reasons that my 7-year-old self couldn't understand.
Right, and then you had the rats at the diner, and yeah, they were hilarious. That was their introduction, was the Muppets Take Manhattan, and I like how yeah, they always add. It's like once they introduce a Muppet, it's like, well, yep, he's in everything now. Going forward, they're gonna be.
It's a new character.
Yep.
You gotta buy that doll.
Yeah.
Buy that doll.
They didn't have. They had New Zealand in Christmas Carol, and they had Sam the Eagle, but we were missing quite a bit of characters, though.
Sam the Eagle is a real one-trick pony.
Yeah, he is. Oh, and then they had the Swedish Chef.
Shindy, bursty.
That's right.
That's funny.
Yep.
It's funny if you already know the Muppets. It's like,
true.
hey, you know the Muppets, you like us, right?
Well, that's
And
some
you
of the
like them
callbacks.
yeah, you like the Muppets for reasons that are not on display here,
Right.
but you're kind of okay with it.
Right. I mean, yeah, there's no joke as good as, hey, Fozzie, I'm Kermit. Oh, you're Fozzie? Yeah. Oh, the one with the hat. That's right. Because they're twin brothers. Or Gonzo jumping out in front to stop the taxi. Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's I've never really thought about it before, and I don't think I would have even watched this movie. I would have thought of it as too young for me if I hadn't got it as a present for being Bob Cratchit. But then, since I had it, I would watch it because it was in my list of Christmas stuff I could watch.
Sure.
But in my mind, I mean, up until recent, when I was still a teenager or whatever, I was sort of like, well, a Muppet Christmas Carol isn't the real Christmas Carol because the real one is this George C. Scott one
Right.
off TV.
I also liked Mickey's Christmas Carol a lot.
Well, Mickey's Christmas Carol is very similar to this.
Yeah, it is.
Where it's like the characters are playing versions of themselves, sort of, but some, even Mickey Mouse is the star of it, and his little mouse son is, Tiny Tim, and and he, Mickey Mouse, he's the star of that group.
Hey.
Kermit being the star Muppet,
Right. And the Futurama has a robot character called Tinny Tim. And he's got a crutch. It's like, why did they put that crutch on that robot? Why don't they just rebuild a leg?
I really like Ghost of Christmas Present in this as well, and I like his song.
Yes.
I like that character being like a little inscrutable and a little sad because he's only going to live one day.
Yeah.
He gets kind of sad right as he's disappearing, and then the scariest ghost comes, which I think that's a nice touch.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird how effective sort of some of the dramatic stuff is, like, because it's like that scene in the George C. Scott one was played for real horror whenever people were like selling his curtains and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And in this, it's done by Muppets that are like spiders.
Yeah.
It's not horrific or anything, but it's still done for pretty, like, obviously it's upsetting for him to hear that.
I love in the movie Scrooge, it's the thank you very much That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. Is when Scrooge. Yeah, that's that big showstopper. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Maybe we should watch that one next year with my kids.
That was back in
The Albert Finney one.
That one was back in. That's not in the 90s. That was back in the 70s.
Oh no, I mean next year with my children.
Oh, okay.
That could be our Christmas Carol we watch next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Future could have been more, imaginative, like sort of the Grim Reaper, but
it's always that. Nobody has really ever done anything different.
Yeah. Well, in the book, there's this bit of where the Ghost of Christmas Present says that like he's the father of the twins of pestilence and fear.
That's right. Yes.
And he lifts up the Ghost of Christmas Present, like lifts up his robe, and he has these like sickly children underneath there.
Right, which is I think they kind of do that in Scrooged, but there's not a lot of movies that actually do that.
Yeah, that was always really scary to me.
Yeah.
Like, then the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come was going to come, and I guess that's why I've always sort of appreciated about some of the Scrooges is that they are kind of scary. And so it's not really a children's story. We're talking about like a very successful person who's like empty inside for some reason. And like, he gets scared out of his wits into acting a little better. Like, it's not like a children's story.
No, yeah. And my dad always was like, yeah, I'd like to see a sequel to A Christmas Carol like a year later. And he's like, Scrooge is broke and desperate.
I wasn't making that point. I mean, I think the implication is that he's got enough to be really generous and still be rich.
Right.
Because that's how wealth works, Gary.
I see. I'll never know, Eric.
Is Dickens sort of more of a socialist? Is he like anti-capitalist? Or
I believe
he just doesn't have a point of view?
No, I think he is. I mean, you look at... so Scrooge is kind of a character that needs to be redeemed to give his money. Pip kind of gets corrupted when Mrs. Havershaw gives her the money in Great Expectations, and so
right.
And then Oliver.
Oliver. Okay, yeah, okay,
yeah,
all right, fine. Yeah, I kind of knew that. And he was writing for the masses, though, too.
That's true. Yep.
His audience was really poor and could only pay like by the chapter or whatnot, right? And it was cheap, so maybe he was just peddling to the lowest common denominator of people in debtors' prisons.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No,
it seems like he cared. But anyway, I think that's how Michael Caine performs it. Like if he were playing on stage in the 90s Scrooge for whatever reason, I think he would give the same performance.
It would be the same performance. He says it's one of his favorite roles.
Well, I bet it was fun to do.
I'm sure, yeah.
Like, can you imagine getting to do this every day? Like, that would be so fun.
Right. I mean, and the sets are impressive. I mean, I guess they had to be built because to do the Muppeting, the puppeteering.
Yep, they had to be built. The whenever it will like pan up and it's like clearly a little Muppety model for the whole of London. I like that. I like the songs, so I like the score too.
Yep.
Like the songs and the score are they're just very traditional, I guess. Like, I mean, 1992 is when 1992 is like after Reservoir Dogs. Like, it's just like, everything is kind of edgy. Even like Aladdin, like the reason that was such a big hit is because of Robin Williams, being so meta and all that stuff. Actually, Robin Williams was acting like a Muppet, essentially, in Aladdin. Old school Muppet.
Right. And they took the source material very seriously and almost maybe too reverently.
Yeah. But like I said, it's always going to be a little neutered if you're telling this story for kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, he's not a good guy. He's not a terrible person, but like I think he does more bad stuff in the novel and in more adult ones than just like in this one. It sort of seems like I kind of fell out of love with this girl, and then he just started making a lot of money. But like, I think he makes some bad decisions, and it's like he's really scared a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, well, right.
So it's about. I mean, it's I think as good as Mickey's, for example.
Yeah. Well, and I think and it is a timeless tale. My my 12-year-old, he's like, oh man, that would just really suck to see everybody so happy that you're dead. And it's kind of like, yeah, that you really don't want people to be like, oh man, it's great that he's dead, and you've done something wrong.
Yeah, that's the part, and I think that's the part that really resonates is you're really spending this time seeing Scrooge's whole life, so you start to empathize with him quite a bit. So he's the villain, and then you start empathizing with him, and then he starts getting really bad news to the point where you're like, oh, what if I am like this? This is the beauty of the storytelling, right? He's pointing the finger at anybody who has any Scrooge-like qualities, but in like a very entertaining and gentle way.
Yeah.
I mean, to think that you're going to be visited by 3 spirits, and the fact that he throws that out there, it's just so exciting. I remember being a kid being like, ooh, there's going to be 3 of them. So like when the first one shows up, you still know there's a couple more to come.
Right.
I don't know. It's very good. I mean, I'll go on the record right here on this podcast that Charles Dickens is a good storyteller.
Yeah, he nailed it. At least in this instance, he nailed it.
Right.
Hit it out of the ballpark.
So that's where you come to my so-called podcast for hard hitting opinions. There's no filter.
That's right. Yeah. We said Charles Dickens wrote a classic.
Right. So smoking hot take.
Yes.
Might be controversial, R.I.P. my mentions forever.
Right.
But Charles Dickens, good author.
Right.
Thus, a reverential take like this is still a good story. It's still a good movie.
Exactly.
The songs are good.
Paul
It's not.
Williams,
It could be not Muppets and still be good.
Yep.
You take the Muppets out of it, and it would still be a good movie. So maybe that is kind of the biggest problem with it, I guess.
Yeah. It didn't need to be the Muppets, and you ready to rate it?
Yep.
All right.
So you would give. So it's called A Christmas Carol, which is a very confusing title for a lot of people. A lot of people like to call it Scrooge.
Yeah.
But it does give us a Christmassy rating system we could do. So 4 stars would be like, Oh Holy Night.
Okay.
3 stars like Silent Night.
Okay.
2 stars would be like Night Moves by Bob Seger.
Right at Christmas. Yep. And then
and 1 star would be like
King Missle.
King Missle's
Happy Hour.
first album. No.
Yeah.
So no. I don't know. What are some bad Christmas songs? 2 stars would be like I Want to Wish You a Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad. Maybe that's inoffensive.
Or the 12 Days of Christmas gets a little grating after.
But the Muppet version with John Denver is quite good.
Yeah.
1 star, let's say, is that Santa Baby song where she wants gold and she wants a real estate and.
Yep. Okay.
That's 1 star.
I will give this 3 stars, I think.
Although you understand that this movie is not technically a Christmas Carol in the sense that it's a movie, not a song.
Right. No, I'm going to need you to go over that again.
I mean, it is confusing, right? That's why people want to call it Scrooge instead of A Christmas Carol. And you're like, which one? And you're like, A Christmas Carol.
Right.
And it's not even a Christmas Carol. It's a movie.
It's a movie. I'm talking about the movie. The book. No, 3 stars for me.
Yeah, I would think it's a solid 3-star movie for sure.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go over that for the world because there's nothing especially Muppety about it.
No, nothing. And there's actually probably better versions of A Christmas Carol out there. But this is
they have those pestilence twins that are living underneath the robes of the present.
Yep.
That's creepy.
It's
like Hellraiser.
That's exactly.
I like things to be more like Hellraiser. And the thing is, Labyrinth is a little bit like Hellraiser too, so those are perfect together.
Right.
So you guys want to come back in 2 weeks for more of this? You can.
Please do.
I've been Eric Spiegel.
I've been Gary Linton.
Bye.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everyone.
And Happy New Year. I said happy because of